Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're delving into one of the most intriguing and profound areas of philosophy, the philosophy of mind. This field grapples with fundamental questions about consciousness, identity, and the self. What is the nature of consciousness? How do we define personal identity? What constitutes the self? Let's explore these complex questions and uncover the various perspectives on the philosophy of mind. Section 1. Historical perspectives on the philosophy of mind. Ancient views. The philosophy of mind has ancient roots, with early philosophical inquiries into the nature of the soul and consciousness. In ancient Greece, Plato proposed a dualistic view distinguishing between the body and the soul. According to Plato, the soul is immortal and possesses knowledge of the forms, while the body is a temporary vessel. Aristotle, on the other hand, took a more integrated approach. He viewed the soul, or psyche, as the form of the body, essential for life and functioning. For Aristotle, the soul is not separate from the body, but rather its animating principle, responsible for sensation, movement, and thought. Medieval and early modern perspectives. During the medieval period, philosophers like Thomas Aquinas built on Aristotelian ideas, integrating them with Christian theology. Aquinas argued that the soul is the form of the body, yet also immortal and capable of existing independently after death. In the early modern period, René Descartes famously revived dualism, positing a clear distinction between mind and body. Descartes argued that the mind, or res cogitans, is a non-material substance responsible for thought, while the body, or res extensa, is a material substance extended in space. This Cartesian dualism laid the groundwork for many subsequent debates in the philosophy of mind. Section 2. Modern philosophical arguments. Materialism and physicalism. In contrast to dualism, materialism, or physicalism, asserts that everything, including the mind, can be explained in terms of physical processes. Philosophers like Thomas Hobbes and later, contemporary thinkers like Daniel Dennett argue that mental states are entirely dependent on brain states and that consciousness arises from the complex interactions of neurons. One prominent theory within materialism is the identity theory, which claims that mental states are identical to brain states. According to this view, when we experience pain, for example, it is nothing more than a particular pattern of neural activity. Functionalism. Functionalism, another influential theory, emerged as a response to the limitations of both dualism and identity theory. Functionalists argue that mental states should be understood in terms of their functional roles rather than their physical makeup. In other words, what matters is not the substance of the brain, but how it functions to produce mental states. Hilary Putnam and Jerry Fodor are key proponents of this view. Phenomenology and the first-person perspective. Phenomenology, championed by philosophers like Edmund Husserl and Maurice Merleau-Ponty, focuses on the subjective experience of consciousness. Phenomenologists emphasize the importance of the first-person perspective, arguing that consciousness cannot be fully understood through objective analysis alone. They explore how we experience the world, perceive objects, and live through our embodied existence. Section 3. Key concepts in the philosophy of mind. Consciousness. Consciousness is one of the central puzzles in the philosophy of mind. What is it and how does it arise? Some philosophers, like David Chalmers, distinguish between the easy and hard problems of consciousness. The easy problems involve understanding the mechanisms of cognitive functions, while the hard problem concerns the nature of subjective experience, or qualia, the raw, felt qualities of experience. Personal identity. Personal identity deals with questions about what makes someone the same person over time. Theories of personal identity can be broadly categorized into psychological continuity theories and biological continuity theories. John Locke, a proponent of psychological continuity, argued that personal identity is tied to memory and consciousness. In contrast, animalist theories, such as those proposed by Erik Olson, assert that identity is based on biological continuity, being the same living organism over time. The self. The concept of the self is closely related to personal identity, but focuses more on the nature of self-awareness and self-conception. Philosophers like David Hume questioned the existence of a permanent self, suggesting instead that what we call the self is just a bundle of perceptions without real unity. Contemporary debates continue to explore whether the self is an illusion or a fundamental aspect of human experience. Section 4. Ethical implications of the philosophy of mind. Free will and moral responsibility. The philosophy of mind has significant implications for our understanding of free will and moral responsibility. If our thoughts and actions are entirely determined by physical processes, as some materialists suggest, then the notion of free will might be an illusion. This raises challenging questions about accountability and ethics. Compatibilists like Daniel Dennett argue that free will is compatible with determinism, suggesting that freedom can be understood in terms of our capacity for rational deliberation and choice. Artificial intelligence and consciousness. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, has brought new dimensions to the philosophy of mind. Can machines be conscious? If so, what ethical considerations arise? Philosophers and AI researchers debate whether advanced AI systems can possess genuine consciousness, or if they merely simulate human-like behavior. These discussions have profound implications for the future of technology and our moral obligations toward intelligent machines. Mental health and well-being. Understanding the philosophy of mind also impacts how we approach mental health and well-being. Different theories about the nature of consciousness and the self can influence therapeutic practices and our attitudes towards mental illness. Recognizing the complexity of mental states and the interplay between mind and body can lead to more holistic and compassionate approaches to mental health care. Section 5, The Philosophy of Mind in Everyday Life. Self-reflection and mindfulness. Exploring the philosophy of mind encourages self-reflection and mindfulness. By examining our own consciousness and sense of self, we can gain deeper insights into our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Practices like meditation and mindfulness can enhance our awareness of the present moment and promote mental well-being. Interpersonal relationships. Our understanding of consciousness and the self shapes how we relate to others. Recognizing the subjective experiences of other individuals can foster empathy and improve our relationships. Philosophical insights into the mind can help us appreciate the richness and diversity of human experience. Ethical decision-making. The philosophy of mind can also inform our ethical decision-making. By considering the implications of different theories about consciousness and free will, we can make more informed and reflective choices. Understanding the nature of the self and personal identity can guide us in navigating moral dilemmas and living more ethically. Conclusion. In this video, we've delved into the fascinating and complex field of the philosophy of mind, exploring historical and modern perspectives on consciousness, identity, and the self. From ancient philosophical inquiries to contemporary debates, the philosophy of mind continues to challenge and expand our understanding of what it means to be conscious and to exist. By examining key concepts such as consciousness, personal identity, and the self, and considering the ethical implications of these inquiries, we gain a deeper appreciation for the intricacies of the mind. Our philosophical beliefs about the mind shape our perceptions, influence our ethical frameworks, and guide our understanding of ourselves and others. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the philosophy of mind. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more enlightening content on philosophy and the mind. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep striving for a deeper understanding of consciousness, identity, and the self.